Libra, my dear friend, if I told you that in just a few days a massive victory could rewrite the entire story of your life, would you be ready to hear it? This is not your typical horoscope reading. This is an in-depth, soul-level journey into astrology, tarot, and the cosmic currents that are aligning specifically for you. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through why you are standing in this exact moment of destiny and what the universe is preparing to reveal. You didn't find this video by accident. There is a reason you are here, and it's because the universe has called your name and brought you to this very message, one that no one else could receive in quite the same way as you. From the moment you walked away from that toxic connection, whether it was a draining partnership, a controlling influence, or a relationship that stole more from you than it gave, the energy around you began to shift. You may not have seen it at first, but a door was quietly opening. And now, between August 13th and August 15th, something extraordinary is moving toward you. This is not a small change. This is a turning point. A big surprise is on its way, one that has the power to impact your finances, your career, your sense of love, and even your belief in yourself. It is an invitation from the universe to step fully into the light, to claim the justice you deserve, and to finally become the author of a brand new chapter in your life. I want you to know that what's coming is not random. The patterns in your chart, the messages in the cards, and the flow of the cosmic energy all confirm that you are entering a season where you will be seen, valued, and rewarded. You have already done the hardest part. You let go of what was holding you back. Now the path ahead is about opening yourself to receive. This reading is going to show you exactly what that means, how it will show up for you, and why this moment is unlike anything you've experienced before. If you are already feeling this energy resonating in your spirit, take a moment right now and comment the words, "I am ready for my new chapter," below. This is not just about interacting with the video, it is about declaring to yourself and to the universe that you are prepared to receive what is meant for you. When you speak it, you set a frequency. When you type it, you anchor it in your reality. Before we go deeper, I want to pause to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here today. Every single like, every thoughtful comment, every share, and every subscription you've given to this channel has brought you closer into the heart of the Zodiac Whisper Tarot family. Your support is what allows us to continue delivering these transformative messages, and I am honored to be on this journey with you. So I encourage you to stay with me until the very last second of this reading, because what the universe is about to reveal to you is nothing short of spectacular. These next few minutes could be the very moments that shift your perspective, ignite your confidence, and open the door to blessings you've been praying for, sometimes without even realizing it. Now, I want to ask you something personal. What has happened recently in your life that drew you here today? Was it a dream that lingered in your mind? A conversation that left you wondering about your path? Or maybe a sign, a number, a phrase, or a chance encounter that felt too meaningful to ignore? For some of you, the sacred number 7 is weaving through your life right now. In spiritual symbolism, 7 is the number of completion, divine timing, and perfect alignment. If this number has been showing up for you, take it as yet another confirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. Libra, this is your moment to listen, to reflect, and to prepare. What is coming is not something you will need to chase or force. It is something that will arrive because you have already done the work to clear the way. And when it comes, you will recognize it instantly because it will feel like the missing piece you've been waiting to place in the puzzle of your life. Sometimes the most powerful transformation begins in the quiet, unseen moment when you decide, I can't stay here anymore. For you, Libra, that moment was not born out of anger or impulse, but out of a deep, intuitive knowing that the space you were in was no longer aligned with who you are becoming. It may have been a professional partnership, a friendship you once thought unshakable, or an alliance you poured your trust into. At one point, it may have felt like the right place to be safe, familiar, even necessary. But over time, the truth revealed itself. This connection was quietly draining you. Your ideas were no longer flowing freely, your confidence felt smaller, and your energy was being pulled in directions that took you further from your purpose. In the language of astrology, this period was marked by the activation of your 7th house, which governs partnerships and collaborations, alongside your 10th house, which speaks to career, public image, and long-term goals. When these two houses are stirred simultaneously, it's as if the universe is holding up a mirror, asking you to look closely at the relationships and agreements that shape your path. Are they lifting you higher, or are they quietly keeping you in place? For you, the answer became clear, and though the choice to leave was difficult, it was necessary. You stepped away from what had become a one-sided exchange, a game in which the rules were bent in someone else's favor. The moment you stood up from that rigged chessboard and walked away, you reclaimed your right to play a fair game, one where you control your own moves. From a self-help perspective, this decision represents one of the most empowering acts you can take, choosing to close a door that no longer leads anywhere worth going. Many people stay in situations like this out of habit, fear of the unknown, or the belief that they owe it to others to remain. But true progress often demands that you let go, even when your heart hasn't yet caught up with your head. By removing yourself from a dynamic that stifled your growth, you created space, and space is exactly what new opportunities need in order to find you. There is a principle I've witnessed over and over again: when you clear what no longer serves you, something better is already moving toward you. It's not always immediate. Sometimes there is a gap, an uncomfortable stretch where you're neither in the old world nor fully anchored in the new one. But that in-between space is fertile ground. It's where resilience is built, where vision sharpens, and where you learn to listen closely to your own inner compass. Think of it like tending a garden. You can't plant new seeds in soil that's choked with weeds. Pulling those weeds might leave the ground looking bare for a while, but beneath the surface, the earth is becoming ready to nourish something fresh and alive. Your choice to leave that toxic connection was the weeding. It was the act of preparing your life for what's next, even before you knew what that might be. The truth is, you didn't need to have all the answers before taking that step. You just needed to trust that staying would cost you more than leaving ever could. This kind of trust is a skill, one that strengthens each time you choose your own well-being over the comfort of the familiar. And while you may not have realized it in the moment, that trust sent a signal out into the universe: I am ready for something better. The universe always responds to clarity like that. Now, as you look back, you may see that what felt like an ending was actually the clearing of the stage before a new act could begin. You've moved yourself into alignment with opportunities that match your value, your ambition, and your truth. And in doing so, you've proven to yourself that you are capable of making decisions that honor both your present and your future. What's ahead will not only reflect the courage it took to walk away, but will also affirm that the path you're on now was worth every step it took to get here. It's a peculiar place to stand, isn't it, Libra? You've stepped out of the old world that no longer served you, but your feet have yet to find solid ground in the new one. There's a slight sway in your step, the kind you feel when crossing a narrow bridge that shifts with every movement. You know that on the other side lies fertile, unexplored land, but right now, your focus is on staying balanced and steady with each step you take. This in-between stage isn't a sign of weakness, it's proof that you're in motion, actively transitioning from what was into what will be. Astrologically, this is the heartbeat of your present moment. The cosmic currents are activating the part of your chart that demands adaptability. It's not about rushing ahead or clinging to the past, it's about learning to pivot gracefully, to remain open while still anchored in your sense of self. In tarot, this energy is perfectly embodied by the Two of Pentacles. It's the image of a figure juggling two coins, standing on shifting waves, yet maintaining rhythm and poise. This is you right now, adjusting, recalibrating, and allowing yourself to explore a new way of living without expecting perfection on the first try. In times like these, small, intentional acts can make the difference between feeling adrift and feeling aligned. Take your health, for example. Your body is your anchor, and it's asking for care. Prioritizing deep, restful sleep will help regulate not just your energy, but also your emotional resilience. Adding B vitamins or nutrient-rich foods can support your nervous system, keeping your mind sharp and your mood steady. When your body feels safe and supported, your spirit can navigate uncertainty with far greater ease. Financially, this is a season to protect your resources. Think of it as storing provisions before setting off on a long journey. Having a cash reserve gives you freedom and flexibility, and avoiding impulsive spending ensures you won't have to scramble later. This isn't about living in scarcity, it's about creating the stability that will allow you to say yes when the right opportunity presents itself. When it comes to your work or creative expression, now is the perfect time to stretch beyond your usual patterns. Start your mornings by writing down 3 fresh ideas, no matter how wild or impractical they seem. This simple practice wakes up the part of your brain that sees possibility instead of limitation. It's an invitation to your mind to explore new paths, which is exactly what this transitional period is designed for. From the perspective of the law of attraction, the energy you hold during this phase is critical. Gratitude is not just a pleasant sentiment, it's a magnetic force. By acknowledging even the smallest wins each day, you shift your frequency toward abundance. When you pair gratitude with an open, flexible mindset, you create a fertile space for unexpected blessings to land. This is where patience meets preparation. You don't need to have every detail mapped out, you simply need to remain available for alignment. Think of it like tending a lantern in the dark. You may not see the full road ahead, but the light you hold is enough to guide your next step. And with each step, the path will reveal more of itself. The truth is, the most extraordinary chapters in life rarely begin in moments of complete clarity. They begin here, in the tender space between letting go and receiving, when you are choosing, day after day, to trust the bridge you're walking on. And Libra, the steadiness you build now will become the very strength that carries you into the opportunities waiting just beyond the horizon. There's a shift coming, Libra, and it won't tiptoe in quietly, it will arrive like a clear knock at your door, the kind that makes you pause because something in you already knows it's important. You may not recognize the person or even expect the encounter, but the timing will feel uncanny. It could come through an introduction, a casual conversation, or someone who has been quietly observing your work and now feels compelled to reach out. The surface of it might seem straightforward: a proposal, a contract, an offer to collaborate, but the energy behind it will carry the unmistakable weight of destiny. In the language of astrology, the days ahead are primed for convergence. Your chart is aligning in a way that activates opportunity in both your second house, which governs personal income and resources, and your 10th house, which represents your public image and achievements. It's as though the universe is orchestrating a meeting between your efforts and the perfect channel for them to flourish. In numerology, these dates resonate with the number 8, the infinity loop that symbolizes abundance, justice, and the continuous flow of giving and receiving. When this number is active, it often signals moments where hard work meets divine timing, creating outcomes that feel larger than life. This isn't just about financial gain, though the monetary potential is significant. For some of you, it will feel like reclaiming something you thought was lost, a return of value, trust, or recognition that was once taken away. Imagine discovering a chest of treasure, but instead of gold coins, it's filled with the opportunities, relationships, and resources that match who you are now, not who you used to be. That's the kind of restoration we're talking about here. And for others, it will be the start of something entirely new, a venture or partnership with the potential to multiply beyond what you can currently imagine. From a practical standpoint, when a moment like this approaches, readiness is everything. Opportunities of this magnitude respond best to clarity and decisiveness. It's worth reviewing your priorities, making sure your commitments are aligned with your true goals, and clearing any lingering distractions. This is not the time to second-guess your worth. If you've been putting in the work, refining your craft, and staying open to possibilities, this could be the moment where all of that effort crystallizes into tangible results. And while the form it takes might surprise you, the core of this blessing will feel deeply personal, as if it was designed specifically for you. That's because it is. The same way seeds grow unseen beneath the soil before they break the surface, the roots of this opportunity have been forming for some time, often in places and through people you didn't realize were connected to your path. There's also a lesson here about receptivity. It's one thing to hope for abundance, it's another to stand at the door and welcome it in without hesitation. This is where gratitude becomes a living practice. Appreciating what's already in your hands signals to the universe that you can be trusted with more. Think of it as making space in your life for the blessings that are making their way to you. What's remarkable is that this isn't just a reward, it's a recalibration. It's the universe balancing the scales, ensuring that what you receive now reflects not only your current capacity but also the trials you've endured to get here. And when that knock comes, Libra, I hope you open the door with both hands ready, knowing that you are not simply lucky, you are aligned, prepared, and worthy of every bit of what's about to arrive. There's a particular kind of stillness that happens just before love arrives, Libra. It's not the absence of movement, but rather a quiet recognition that something is shifting in your emotional landscape. You may have sensed it, Latelia's subtle awareness, as though someone's energy is drawing closer, brushing against the edges of your life before making itself known. And when they do appear, they won't come with hesitation or ambiguity. This person's energy will be clear, steady, and intentional, like someone who has rehearsed their truth enough times to deliver it with both confidence and vulnerability. What sets this connection apart is its directness. There will be no cryptic messages or mixed signals here. Instead, you'll feel the weight of their sincerity in every word they speak. They have likely been preparing for this moment, choosing how to approach you, considering how best to express themselves, and waiting until they felt the timing was right. This readiness is a sign of respect for you, for the value you hold in their eyes, and for the seriousness with which they view the potential between you. You will feel the draw too, perhaps more strongly than you expect. It will be like looking into a mirror that reflects not only who you are now, but also the version of you that thrives in harmony. Much like the scales that symbolize your sign, this connection has the potential to balance both of you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The attraction won't just be physical or fleeting, it will be rooted in a mutual recognition that this is a meeting of equals. In the language of tarot, the Ace of Cups signals a fresh emotional beginning, a pure flow of feeling that opens the heart without force. Paired with Justice, this suggests a love that is both passionate and principled, a bond where fairness, respect, and mutual benefit are non-negotiable. It's the kind of relationship where each person holds space for the other's growth, where you can be fully yourself without fear of judgment, and where both giving and receiving are in natural balance. From a self-help perspective, this is an invitation to practice openness without losing yourself. Opening your heart does not mean lowering your boundaries, it means knowing where your lines are and allowing someone worthy to meet you there. It's about creating enough emotional space for the relationship to breathe, resisting the urge to control its pace, and trusting that the right person will meet your openness with equal care. On a practical note, you might choose to align with certain colors when you first spend time together. Turquoise, with its calming and truthful vibration, can help you communicate with clarity and ease. Gold, with its warmth and radiance, can draw out confidence and highlight your inner light. These subtle choices can amplify the natural chemistry between you, helping both of you feel seen and understood. It's important to remember that while the arrival of new love can feel like a blessing dropped into your lap, it is also a reflection of the work you've done within yourself. By valuing your own worth, you naturally attract someone who will value it too. And while there's no way to predict exactly how the story will unfold, the signs point to this being more than a passing chapter. It has the potential to be a lasting, supportive presence in your life, one that enriches you as much as you enrich them. When it comes, Libra, allow yourself to be present for it. Let the moments unfold without rushing to define them, and trust that this connection has come to you not by chance, but because you are ready to meet it fully. The balance you've sought in love may finally be stepping forward to meet you halfway. Sometimes the most challenging part of moving forward isn't stepping into the new, it's choosing not to turn back. You may have someone in your past, Libra, who still carries the weight of what you once shared. Their thoughts might drift toward you, replaying memories, wondering if the door could ever reopen. Perhaps you felt that energy from time to time, a faint echo of a bond that once felt unshakable. And yet, deep down, you know that chapter has already closed. The pages are written, the lessons are learned, and keeping it in your present would only hold you in place when you're meant to move ahead. Astrologically, this is a moment of completing a cycle, often marked by transits that illuminate the 12th house, the domain of endings, release, and hidden patterns. These cosmic influences bring clarity about what no longer serves your growth, even if part of you still feels an emotional pull. They ask you to choose your freedom over familiarity, to trust that the same universe that brought certain people into your life also knows when it's time to let them go. The truth is, holding on to an expired connection creates a loop. You may not go back physically, but if you keep it alive in your mind and heart, you end up reliving the same emotions, the same disappointments, and the same limitations over and over again. That's why decisiveness is so important here, not as an act of coldness, but as an act of self-respect. By closing the loop completely, you create a clean slate for new experiences to enter. From a self-help perspective, letting go isn't about erasing the past, it's about shifting your relationship to it. The memories can remain, but the power they hold over your choices dissolves. You can acknowledge the good moments without feeling the need to recreate them. You can appreciate what you learned, even if the lessons were painful. This is the essence of moving forward, carrying wisdom instead of baggage. In the language of emotional healing, it's like clearing out a room in your home. The furniture that once suited you may no longer fit your space or style. Keeping it there only crowds the room, leaving no place for what's meant to come next. But when you release it, the space transforms. You start to imagine new arrangements, new colors, new energy flowing in. The same is true for your heart. There's also a layer of trust involved here, trust in yourself, trust in your future, and trust that what's ahead is worthy of the space you're making. It's not about rushing to fill the emptiness, but about holding it open with the faith that the right connections will come in their own time. In that stillness, you're not lost, you're being prepared. You've probably heard the saying that what's meant for you will never pass you by. This is where that truth becomes real. By closing the chapter with someone from your past, you're not shutting the door on love or connection, you're ensuring that the love and connection you welcome in next is aligned with who you are now. And that's the key. The person you are today deserves relationships that match your current growth, not your former limitations. So, Libra, let the past rest where it belongs. Keep the lessons, release the hold. Trust that in doing so, you're stepping into a new season where your heart has room to receive without restriction. What's ahead is not a repeat of what was, it's the beginning of something entirely new, something that only exists because you were willing to say, I'm ready to move on. Libra, as we reach the close of this reading, I want you to take a deep breath and look back over the journey we've just walked through together. You have moved from the courage of releasing what no longer serves you, through the delicate process of adjustment, into the threshold of powerful opportunity. You've opened your heart to the possibility of new, authentic love, and you've had the strength to close the door on cycles from the past that could no longer grow with you. This is more than just a sequence of events, it is the unfolding of your own transformation, a testimony to your resilience, your self-awareness, and your willingness to claim the life you deserve. What you've experienced is not accidental. Every step, even the ones that felt uncertain, has been a preparation for the moments now rising on your horizon. You have proven to yourself that you are willing to make the hard choices, to walk away from comfort that suffocates, and to hold space for the unknown until it becomes something extraordinary. And now, you are standing here with the pen in your hand, ready to write the next pages of your story. Once you cross this threshold, there is no reason and no desirito return to the old board where the game was rigged against you. That chapter is done. The power is yours now, and with it comes the freedom to choose how your next story unfolds. But here's the question only you can answer. Will you act when the door opens? Will you trust that the opportunities ahead are not just lucky breaks but the natural reward of your courage and persistence? Will you welcome love that meets you where you are, without lowering your standards or dimming your light? These are not questions to rush through, they are invitations to step fully into your role as the architect of your own life. I encourage you to take the energy of this reading and make it tangible. Hold yourself accountable for the changes you've already decided to make. Keep your vision clear and your actions aligned with the future you're creating. The universe can open doors, but only you can choose to walk through them. Remember that your readiness is not about knowing every detail, it's about having the faith to take the next step. And as you carry this forward, know that you are not alone. You are part of a community here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot that believes in your potential and celebrates your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Every time you engage with this space, every like, every comment, every share, you are not only affirming your own path, you are helping to create a ripple of encouragement that touches others who need it just as much as you do. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for showing up for yourself, and for trusting me to guide you through this moment. Your support is what keeps this channel alive and allows these messages to find the people who are meant to hear them. And I promise you, Libra, the most beautiful chapters are still ahead. If this message has spoken to you, declare it now by leaving a comment that says, "I welcome my victory." Say it not just for me, but for yourself, and for the universe to hear. Let it be your affirmation that you are ready, open, and worthy of every blessing that is making its way to you. And before you go, remember to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and share it with someone who could use a spark of hope today. The light you share has a way of finding its way back to you, often in ways far greater than you can imagine. Now, Libra, take what you've learned here and step boldly into your next chapter. The pen is in your hand, and the page before you is blank. What will you write?